I'm watching my wife have Zex another man on my laptop screen, and all I can think is how much I overpaid for this PI. Vic Dorsey charged me $3 grand for 2 weeks of surveillance, and honestly, my neighbor Ruth could have told me for free. She's been giving me those sad, knowing looks for months now, the kind that say, poor coward, without moving her lips. But I needed proof. Hard, undeniable, court-quality proof. The video quality is crystal clear. Brent Sloan's apartment, 15th floor, floor-to-ceiling windows with a view he probably mentions at every dinner party. My wife Lila is pressed against that glass, her designer dress, the one I bought her for our anniversary, hiked up around her waist. Brent's behind her, and they're both laughing. Actually laughing. Like this is the funniest, most exciting thing they've ever done. That's what gets me. Not the Zex, not even the betrayal, really. It's the joy on her face. Pure, unfiltered happiness. She hasn't looked at me like that in 2 years. I close the laptop and check my watch. 3:15 in the morning. In exactly 9 hours, I'm supposed to marry this woman. Again. Renewing our vows, she called it. Recommitting to our love, she'd said, those green eyes wide and earnest. We've grown apart, Jack. This will bring us back together, I'd agreed. Hired the wedding planner, booked the venue at the Harbor View Inn, invited 150 people, spent $28,000 on a party to celebrate our renewed commitment. The irony is so thick I could build a house with it. And I build houses for a living, so I know what I'm talking about. My phone buzzes. Text from Terry, my foreman. You awake? Need to talk about the Henderson site? I text back. Can't sleep anyway. Coffee at the Anchor in 20? You got it, boss. The rusty Anchor doesn't officially open until 6, but Doris has been letting me and Terry in through the back since we renovated her kitchen 3 years ago. She's already got the coffee brewing when I arrive, the rich smell cutting through the stale beer odor that never quite leaves the place. You look like hell, Jack, Doris says, sliding a mug across the bar. She's 60-something, built like a bulldog, with a heart bigger than her vocabulary is polite. Wedding jitters, I say. She snorts. Jitters? Right. I've seen that look before. That's the look of a man who knows something. Terry walks in before I have to respond, his work boots heavy on the wooden floor. He's been with me for 8 years, since I started handling construction. Loyal as a dog, twice as protective, and built like he could bench press a truck. So, what's really going on? He asks, dropping onto the stool next to me. And don't give me that wedding jitters nonsense. You don't do jitters. I pull out my phone and show him a screenshot from the video. Nothing explicit, just Lila and Brent in a restaurant. His hand on her thigh, her leaning in close. Terry's jaw tightens. When? Been going on for 4 months, since Brent transferred here from Boston. You gonna cancel the wedding? I smile and Terry actually leans back a little. No, I'm going through with it. Jack, every detail, every moment, exactly as planned. Terry studies me for a long moment. You've got something. I've got everything, and at exactly 6:30 tonight during the toasts, everyone else will too. Doris refills my coffee without asking. I always liked you, Jack. You're quiet, but you're not soft. People forget that. People underestimate quiet, I say. It's their first mistake. The wedding day unfolds like a perfectly choreographed play. I'm calm, eerily calm. My best man, Dave, soon to be ex-best man, but he doesn't know that yet, keeps asking if I'm okay. You're too relaxed, man, Dave says as we're getting ready in the Harbor View's groom suite. Most guys are sweating bullets. You look like you're about to watch a football game. Maybe I just know what I want, I say, adjusting my tie in the mirror. What I want is revenge. Cold, calculated, absolutely devastating revenge. Dave laughs. Lila's lucky. You're the most stable guy I know. Stable. That's what everyone thinks. Jack Hanlon, the steady contractor. Reliable, boring even. The guy who shows up on time, pays his bills, doesn't make waves. I've cultivated that reputation carefully over the years. It's useful, being underestimated. The ceremony is beautiful. Lila looks stunning in white, which feels like a sick joke, but I keep smiling. We exchange vows. Her voice trembles with emotion, real tears in her eyes. She's either a sociopath or she's compartmentalized this so thoroughly she actually believes her own performance. I say, I do and mean it. I do take this woman, for better or worse. I do promise to honor this commitment. I just don't promise to honor her. The reception is at the same venue, a gorgeous waterfront space with sunset views. 200 guests. Lila invited more than we'd originally planned. Everyone should witness our love, she'd said. Careful what you wish for, sweetheart. Dinner is served. Salmon or beef, fancy wines, a cake that cost more than my first car. I make small talk with relatives, accept congratulations, play the happy groom. Lila is radiant, working the room like the social butterfly she is. She's good at this. The performance, the charm. Brent Sloan is here, of course. Table 7, with the business associates crowd. He's been carefully avoiding eye contact with Lila all evening, which is smart, but not smart enough. I watched him slip out earlier to take a call, watched Lila disappear to fix her makeup 3 minutes later. They met in the garden, 30 seconds of whispered conversation. Brent touched her arm. She smiled. I memorized every detail. At 6:25, the DJ announces it's time for toasts. Dave stands first, tells a funny story about how we met in college, how I helped him pass structural engineering by building a model bridge out of beer cans. Everyone laughs. Lila's maid of honor, Cassie, goes next. Cassie, who knew about the affair, who helped cover for Lila, who lied to my face at least a dozen times. Cassie's toast is all about true love and soulmates and destiny. Her voice is syrupy sweet. I want to vomit. Then it's my turn. I stand, microphone in hand, and the room quiets. Lila is beaming at me, her face full of love and trust. For a moment, just a moment, I almost feel bad. Almost. Thank you all for being here, I start. Lila and I have been together for 6 years, married for 5. And I thought I knew everything about her. I thought we had no secrets. Lila's smile falters slightly. Good instincts. But recently, I learned something new, something that changed everything. I pull out a small remote from my pocket. So instead of a traditional toast, I'd like to share a little video. A montage, if you will, of our relationship, the real relationship. I click the button. The screens around the room, set up for the slideshow Lila had planned, flicker to life. But instead of our wedding photos, it's Vic's surveillance footage. High definition, perfect clarity. Lila and Brent at a restaurant, kissing, in his car, entering his apartment building. The timestamp shows dates, 4 months of footage, dozens of encounters. The room goes silent. That special kind of silence that's actually full of gasps and whispers and the sound of 150 people's jaws hitting the floor simultaneously. Lila's face drains of all color. She's staring at the screens like she's watching her own execution, which, in a way, she is. Brent is trying to disappear into his chair. Impossible, given that he's 6'2" and wearing a bright blue suit. I let the video play for 30 seconds. That's all it takes. Then I stop it and the silence somehow gets louder. So here's my toast, I say, raising my glass. My voice is steady, calm, almost cheerful. To honesty, to truth, and to the fact that I'm really, really good at planning ahead. I down my champagne in one gulp. Oh, and Lila, the annulment papers are already filed. You'll be served on Monday. This marriage lasted exactly, I check my watch, 4 hours and 17 minutes. I think that might be a record. Then I walk out. The explosion of sound behind me is glorious. The video goes viral by Sunday morning. I'm sitting in my house now since Lila moved out Saturday night, drinking coffee and watching the view counter climb. Someone posted it to social media, probably multiple someones. By noon, it's been shared 40,000 times. My phone hasn't stopped ringing. I've ignored 43 calls, including 3 from Lila, 7 from her mother, and 1 from Brent. That last one almost made me laugh. What could he possibly have to say? The only call I answer is from Vic Dorsey. You made quite the splash, he says. His voice is amused. My phone's been ringing too. Suddenly everyone in town needs a PI. Glad I could help your business. You know this isn't over, right? Woman like that doesn't go down quiet. I'm counting on it, I say. Because here's the thing. The wedding video was just the opening act. I've been planning this for 3 months, ever since I first suspected. Every move calculated, every contingency planned. I'm not just destroying Lila, I'm dismantling her entire world. Phase 1, public humiliation. Check. Phase 2, financial devastation. Monday morning, I'm at the bank when it opens. I've already frozen our joint accounts. Legally, since I suspected fraud. I've transferred my business accounts to a different bank entirely. I've changed all the passwords on everything we shared. Streaming services, utilities, credit cards, everything. Lila has no access to money, none. Her personal account has maybe $3,000. Her credit cards? All on accounts I controlled. I've already called and reported them potentially compromised, had them all frozen pending investigation. Is it petty? Absolutely. Is it legal? My lawyer assures me it is, given the circumstances. By Monday afternoon, I'm at my lawyer's office finalizing the annulment. Gerald Moss is 60, sharp as a razor, and thoroughly enjoying this case. She's going to fight, Gerald says, reviewing the paperwork. She'll claim emotional distress, try for alimony, go after your business. Let her try. I've got documentation of everything. Every asset I brought into the marriage, every dollar I earned, every penny she spent. She signed a prenup. A good one. She had her own lawyer review it. She did. Cassie recommended him. Guy named Peter Chen, works at her firm. Gerald's eyebrows rise. The same Cassie who was her maid of honor? Who knew about the affair? The very same. That's a conflict of interest. If we can prove Cassie influenced her legal representation while knowing Lila was planning to defraud you, Gerald actually smiles. It's not a nice smile. Her lawyer could be disbarred. The prenup becomes even more ironclad. Funny how these things work out, I say. By Tuesday, the social fallout is in full swing. Lila's been suspended from her job at Meridian Insurance, pending investigation into whether she used company resources to facilitate her affair. Someone anonymously tipped off her boss that she'd been taking extended lunch breaks and using the company car for personal meetings. That someone was me, obviously. Brent's in even worse shape. His wife, yeah, it turns out Brent's married, Lila didn't mention that detail to me, has filed for divorce. His company is reviewing his position, which is corporate speak for you're fired, but we need to talk to legal first. And Cassie's got problems of her own. Wednesday afternoon, I'm at the Rusty Anchor with Terry when she walks in. The bar goes quiet. Everyone knows the story now. Small town, big scandal. Cassie's face is red, her eyes puffy from crying. She spots me and marches over. You coward. Cassie, can I buy you a drink? You destroyed her. You destroyed everything. I take a sip of my beer. I showed a video, a true video, of things that actually happened. If that destroyed everything, maybe the foundation was already rotten. She loved you. She had a funny way of showing it. But hey, you were there for all of it, right? Covering for her, lying for her. How many times did you tell me she was working late when she was actually with Brent? Cassie's face goes even redder. I was being a good friend. You were being an accomplice. And speaking of which, how's work going? I hear HR has some questions about your expense reports. Something about claiming personal dinners as business meetings? Her eyes go wide. You didn't. I didn't have to. I just pointed them in the right direction. They did the rest. Turns out you've been pretty creative with company money. Almost as creative as Lila. You're going to regret this, Cassie hisses. I regret lots of things. Marrying Lila, trusting you, believing in friendship. But this? I gesture vaguely at everything. This I don't regret at all, she storms out. Terry, who's been quietly watching, shakes his head. You're cold, man. Ice cold. No, I say. I'm just done being warm to people who don't deserve it. The next betrayal comes from Dave, my best man, the guy I've known for 15 years. He calls Thursday night, asks to meet at the diner on Main Street. I agree, curious what he wants. He's already there when I arrive, sitting in a back booth. His face is serious, worried. Jack, we need to talk. So talk. You've gone too far. What you did at the wedding, okay, I get it. You were hurt, but now, going after Lila's job, her money, Cassie's career, it's too much. I lean back in the booth. Too much. Yeah, you're being vindictive, cruel. This isn't like you. Maybe you don't know me as well as you think. Dave leans forward. Lila made a mistake, a bad one. But she's human. She deserves a chance to recover, to rebuild her life. You're systematically destroying her. She systematically betrayed me for 4 months. She looked me in the eye every single day and lied. She planned a vow renewal, a celebration of our marriage, while having Zex another man. She spent my money on hotels and dinners and gifts for him. And you think she deserves mercy? I think you need to be the bigger person. I laugh. Actually laugh. The bigger person? Right. Let me guess. Lila called you, asked you to talk to me, to convince me to back off. Dave's face gives him away. He's never been good at poker. She's desperate, Jack. She's lost everything. Her job, her reputation, her friends, her husband. Don't forget that part. You're my best friend. I'm trying to help you. This revenge crusade is going to eat you alive. You need to let it go. What I need, I say slowly, is for people to stop telling me how I should feel about being betrayed. What I need is for my so-called best friend to have my back instead of my cheating wife's. I'm trying to have your back. I'm trying to save you from yourself. By taking her side, I'm not taking her side. I'm trying to be rational. Someone has to be... I stand up. You know what, Dave? I'm done with this conversation, with you, with anyone who thinks I'm the villain in this story. Jack, we're done. Don't call me. Don't come by. We're finished. I walk out of the diner and don't look back. By Friday, I've lost 3 more friends. They formed a little coalition, apparently. Dave, his wife Jennifer, our mutual friends Tom and Sarah. They've all decided I'm out of control, that I need an intervention, that I'm letting anger consume me. They don't get it. This isn't anger. Anger is hot, impulsive, stupid. This is cold calculation. This is justice. Tom calls Friday evening. We need to talk, all of us, tomorrow at my place. An intervention? A conversation between friends. I'll be there, I say. Because here's the thing. I'm not avoiding them. I'm not hiding. I want them to say what they need to say. I want to look them in the eyes when they betray me too. Saturday afternoon, I show up at Tom's house. It's a nice place. I should know, I built the addition 3 years ago. Tom and Sarah are there, along with Dave and Jennifer. They're all sitting in the living room, faces serious. An ambush disguised as concern. Jack, thanks for coming, Tom says. We're worried about you. Are you? You've changed, Sarah says. Her voice is gentle, patronizing. Ever since the wedding, you've been different, harder, angrier. I found out my wife was cheating on me. That tends to change a person. But the way you've handled it, Jennifer says, it's not healthy. You're destroying people's lives. One life, I correct. Lila's. And she destroyed mine first. That's not true, Dave says. You're successful, you've got your business, your house. My marriage was a lie. My wife was a lie. The last 5 years of my life were built on deception. But sure, I've got a house. That makes it all okay. We're not saying it's okay, Tom says. We're saying you need to move on, heal. This vendetta isn't helping. I look at each of them in turn. Let me ask you something. Did any of you know? Silence. Did any of you suspect, see something, hear something, and not tell me? More silence. But Sarah's eyes flicker, just for a second. Sarah, she looks at Tom, then back at me. I saw them once, at a restaurant. They were just talking. I thought maybe it was work-related. When? 3 months ago. 3 months. She knew for 3 months and said nothing. Anyone else? Jennifer raises her hand slightly. I heard rumors. From Cassie. But I thought they were just gossip. You didn't think to tell me. I didn't want to upset you over rumors. I nod slowly. So let me get this straight. You all knew or suspected or heard things, and none of you said a word. You let me plan that vow renewal. Let me spend $30,000 on a party. Let me stand up there and make a fool of myself. But now that I've fought back, suddenly you're all concerned about my well-being. That's not fair, Dave says. Fair? You want to talk about fair? Here's what's fair. You're all complicit. Every single one of you. You protected her instead of me. You chose her comfort over my right to know the truth. And now you have the audacity to tell me I'm the one who's gone too far. Jack, please, Sarah starts. No, I'm done with all of you. You want to be friends with Lila? Fine. But you don't get to be friends with both of us. You made your choice. You made it 3 months ago when you decided to keep your mouths shut. I walk to the door. You're going to regret this, Tom calls after me. Pushing everyone away. You'll end up alone. I turn back. I'd rather be alone than surrounded by people who smile to my face and stab me in the back. At least I'll know where I stand. 2 weeks after the wedding, I'm sitting in my office at the construction site when Vic Dorsey calls. Got something interesting for you, he says, about Brent. I'm listening. Guy's got a history. 2 previous jobs, both ended badly. At the first one, he was fired for related to sex harassment. At the second, there was an incident with a co-worker's wife. Nothing proven, but he left voluntarily right after. So he's got a pattern. A clear one. And here's the kicker. Lila knew. I found emails between her and Cassie from 6 months ago. They were laughing about it. Called him dangerous and exciting. My grip tightens on the phone. Send me everything. The emails arrive an hour later. They're damning. Not just evidence of the affair, but proof that Lila knew exactly what kind of man Brent was. That she pursued him anyway. That she found the risk thrilling. There's more. Texts between Lila and Cassie discussing how to hide the affair. How to use my work schedule against me. How to gaslight me if I got suspicious. One text from Lila. Jack's so trusting. It's almost too easy. Cassie's response. Just don't get caught. You've got a good thing with Jack's money. I read that line 5 times. Jack's money, not Jack. Not our marriage. Not our life together. My money. That's when I realized this was never about love or passion or even attraction. This was calculated, financial. Lila was hedging her bets, keeping me for stability while pursuing Brent for excitement. And if it all fell apart, she'd have planned to take me for everything in the divorce. The prenup must have been a shock to her. I remember now, she'd pushed back on it initially. Said it showed I didn't trust her. I'd held firm and she'd eventually agreed, probably thinking she could work around it later. But then I caught her before she could execute whatever endgame she'd planned. I forward everything to Gerald Moss, my lawyer. Then I make another call. Meridian Insurance, how may I direct your call? HR department, please. I have information about employee misconduct. By Monday, Lila's been fired. Not suspended, terminated. The emails and texts show she used company resources for personal matters, lied on expense reports, and violated the ethics code. She's not just unemployed, she's unhireable in the insurance industry. Word spreads fast in professional circles. Cassie's gone too. Same reasons, plus the financial irregularities I'd pointed out earlier. Turns out she'd been skimming for years, just small amounts, but it adds up. Brent's company finally made their decision, terminated for cause. His wife's divorce is proceeding rapidly. He's living in a cheap motel on the edge of town, driving a rental car because his wife took the BMW. I should feel satisfied, victorious. But there's still one more thing I need to do. Tuesday evening, I drive to the Rusty Anchor. It's crowded, always is on Tuesday, wing night. I spot Dave and Tom at a corner table with their wives. They see me too. The conversation stops. I walk over. Can we talk? I ask. Dave looks surprised. Yeah, of course. I pull up a chair. The 4 of them are watching me warily like I might explode. I've been thinking about what you said, I start. About moving on, about healing. Jack, Jennifer begins, but I hold up a hand. Let me finish. You were right about some things. I have been consumed by this, by revenge, by anger. It's taken over my life for weeks. They're nodding now, hopeful. But here's the thing. I don't regret it. Any of it. What I did to Lila, to Brent, to Cassie. They earned it, every bit. They made choices. They hurt me deliberately, and I made them pay for it. The hope fades from their faces. What I do regret is trusting the wrong people, believing that friendship meant loyalty, that when someone betrayed me, my friends would have my back. Instead, you all protected her. You knew or suspected, and you said nothing. You let me be humiliated, and then you judged me for fighting back. We were trying to help, Sarah says quietly. You were trying to make yourselves feel better, to convince yourselves you weren't complicit. But you were. You are. And I can't forgive that. I won't. I stand up. So this is goodbye. For real this time. I hope you all have good lives. I hope you're happy with your choices. But I'm done pretending we're friends. I walk away. This time, none of them call after me. The town festival happens the first weekend of June. It's a big deal. Craft vendors, food trucks, live music, everyone turns out. I almost skip it, but Terry convinces me to go. Hiding makes you look guilty, he says. Walk in there with your head high. Let them see you're not broken. So I go. The festival is packed. I see familiar faces everywhere. Most people avoid eye contact. Some whisper as I pass. A few, mostly guys from the construction crew and regulars from the anchor, nod or wave. I'm divisive now. Some people think I'm a hero. Others think I'm a monster. I'm getting a beer from one of the trucks when I hear raised voices near the main stage. I turn and see Lila. She looks terrible. Her hair, usually perfect, is pulled back in a messy ponytail. No makeup, jeans and a t-shirt instead of her usual designer clothes. She's arguing with someone, Brent. I move closer, curious. Your fault, Lila is saying. You promised it would be fine. You said he'd never find out. You're the one who wanted to renew the vows, Brent shoots back. I told you it was risky because you said we needed more time, that you were leaving your wife. But you never were you? You just wanted to keep screwing around. People are starting to stare. Pull out phones. This is going to be online in minutes. You're insane, Brent says. I'm done with this. Done with you? You're done? You're done? I lost everything because of you. You lost everything because you got caught. That's when Lila sees me. Her eyes lock onto mine across the crowd. For a moment, everything stops. Then she's moving toward me, pushing through people. Her face is twisted with rage and something else. Desperation. You, she hisses when she reaches me. You did this. You destroyed my life. I showed people who you really are. I say calmly. You destroyed your own life. I loved you. I made a mistake, but I loved you. You loved my money. There's a difference. Her hand comes up fast. She's going to slap me. I catch her wrist easily. Don't, I say quietly. You're a coward, a cold, heartless coward. Maybe, but I'm an honest coward, which is more than you can say. She tries to pull away, but I hold firm. Let me go. Gladly. But first, you're going to hear this. Every choice you made was yours. Every lie, every betrayal, every moment you chose Brent over me. You don't get to blame me for the consequences. You don't get to play sufferer. You did this. Own it. I release her wrist. She stumbles back, tears streaming down her face. I hate you, she whispers. I know. I'm okay with that. She turns and runs. Brent doesn't follow her. He's already walking away in the opposite direction. The crowd watches both of them go, then slowly turns to look at me. I raise my beer in a mock toast. Show's over, folks. Someone laughs, then someone else. The tension breaks. People go back to their conversations, their food, their lives. Terry appears at my elbow. That was cold. That was necessary. You feel better? I consider the question. Do I feel better? Not really. I don't feel worse either. I just feel done. Yeah, I say. I think I do. The final piece falls into place 2 days later. Ruth, my neighbor, knocks on my door Tuesday evening. She's holding a casserole dish and wearing her "I've got gossip" face. Thought you might need a home-cooked meal, she says, pushing past me into the kitchen. Ruth, you don't have to. Hush! I'm old, I'm lonely, and I like feeding people. Let me have this. She sets the casserole on the counter and turns to face me. I need to tell you something. Been wrestling with it for days, but you deserve to know. Know what? About Cassie and Brent. I blink. Cassie and Brent? Saw them together? 3 weeks before your wedding, at that Italian place downtown. They were very friendly. How friendly? Holding hands, kissing, the works. My brain processes this. Cassie was sleeping with Brent, while he was sleeping with Lila, while Lila was married to you. It's like a Russian nesting doll of betrayal. I sit down heavily. Cassie set this up. She pushed Lila toward Brent, covered for the affair, helped hide it. Also, she could have him too. Or, Ruth says slowly, so she could get Lila out of the way at work. Cassie wanted that promotion, the one Lila got last year. Maybe she figured if Lila's marriage exploded, she'd be too distracted to compete. But then I exposed everything and they both got fired. Karma's an unpleasant person with a sense of irony. I start laughing. I can't help it. The whole thing is so twisted, so absurd, so perfectly awful. So I wasn't just betrayed, I say between laughs. I was a pawn in someone else's game. Cassie used me to destroy Lila. And I did it. I did exactly what she wanted. Does it matter? Ruth asks. Lila still cheated, still lied. The betrayal was real. Yeah, it was. Ruth pats my shoulder. For what it's worth, I think you handled it perfectly. Lila needed to learn that actions have consequences. So did Brent. So did all those so-called friends who knew and said nothing. You think I'm in the right? I think you're human. I think you got hurt and you hit back. Nothing wrong with that. The world's too quick to tell people to forgive and forget. Sometimes people need to remember why you don't cross certain lines. She heads for the door, then pauses. Oh, and Jack? That casserole's got enough for 3 days. Freeze what you don't eat tonight. Thanks, Ruth. Anytime, honey. 3 months later, life has settled into a new normal. Hanlon Construction is thriving. Turns out public sympathy, or at least public interest, is good for business. We're booked solid through next spring. I've made new friends. People who didn't know me before who judge me on who I am now rather than who I was. Terry and I have gotten closer. Doris at the Anchor has basically adopted me as her surrogate son. I heard through the grapevine that Lila moved back to Boston, living with her parents, working retail. Brent's somewhere in New York, I think. His divorce finalized last month. Cassie's still in town, but unemployed and radioactive in the professional community. Dave called last week, left a voicemail apologizing, saying he understood now why I'd been so angry, that he should have supported me. I haven't called back. Maybe I will someday. Maybe I won't. The annulment was finalized 6 weeks ago. The prenup held up perfectly. Lila got nothing except her personal belongings and the clothes on her back. Gerald Moss sent me a bottle of scotch to celebrate. We drank it together in his office while he told me war stories about other divorce cases. I'm not dating, not ready, maybe not interested. The idea of trusting someone again feels impossible right now. But I'm okay with that. I'm okay with being alone. It's honest, at least. Saturday afternoon, I'm at the Anchor having a beer when the door opens and a woman walks in. Mid-30s, auburn hair, confident walk. She looks around, spots me, and heads over. Jack Hanlon? That's me. I'm Rebecca Walsh. I'm a writer. I'd like to interview you. About your story, the wedding, the revenge, the aftermath. I think it would make a great article, maybe even a book. I study her. She's serious, professional, and there's something in her eyes. Respect, maybe, or understanding. Why? I ask. Because everyone's talking about what you did. Some people think you're a hero, others think you're a villain, but nobody's heard your side, your actual words and your actual voice. I think people should, and you think they'll care? I think everyone who's ever been betrayed will care. Everyone who's been told to forgive and move on when they wanted to fight back. Everyone who's been judged for not being the bigger person. Yeah, I think they'll care. I consider this. Telling my story, owning it, not apologizing, not justifying, just explaining. Okay, I say, let's talk. Rebecca pulls out a recorder and a notebook. Start at the beginning. When did you first suspect? So I tell her everything. The suspicion, the PI, the video, the wedding reveal, the financial warfare, the lost friendships, the confrontations, the festival scene, the final revelations about Cassie and Brent. I talk for 2 hours. Rebecca barely interrupts, just nods and takes notes and lets me speak. When I'm done, she sits back. That's quite a story. It's my story, for better or worse. Do you regret any of it? I think about the question, really think about it. I regret trusting the wrong people. I regret the years I wasted on a marriage that was a lie. I regret not seeing the signs earlier. I pause. But do I regret the revenge? The way I fought back? No, not even a little bit. Even though you lost friends? Even though half the town thinks you're cruel? Those weren't real friends, and I don't care what the town thinks. I care what I think, and I think I did what I had to do. I think I stood up for myself when everyone else told me to roll over and take it. I think I proved that you don't have to be the bigger person when someone makes you smaller. Rebecca smiles. That's a hell of a closing line. It's the truth. She packs up her recorder and notebook. I'll send you a draft before I publish anything. Make sure I got it right. Appreciate it. She stands to leave, then turns back. For what it's worth, I don't think you're a villain. I think you're someone who refused to be a sufferer. The world needs more of that. After she leaves, I sit at the bar for a while longer. Doris brings me another beer without asking. You okay, honey? She asks. Yeah, I say, and I mean it. Yeah, I really am. Because here's the thing I've learned. Revenge doesn't heal you. It doesn't fix what's broken or erase what happened, but it does give you back your power. It reminds you that you're not helpless, that you don't have to accept betrayal quietly, that you can fight back and survive and come out the other side, stronger. The house always wins, not because the house is better or smarter or more deserving, but because the house knows the game, knows the odds, knows when to hold and when to fold and when to burn everything down and start over. I learned that lesson the hard way, but I learned it, and I'll never forget it.